let's be real about smoke.
Sir, I actually want to have smoke with my parents for having all this 49ers gear back up here.
Because I was wondering what was going on. I was like, that is not Skylar's house. Because I see
Yeah.
49.
I'm trapping at my parents' house today. I think they were, they weren't led in the right direction when they were picking their favorite sports team. So it's like 49ers stuff all over the place, just like Cowboy stuff, and it's like one little small Pittsburgh Steeler held me off to the side.
My folks weren't either. The only person that saw the light was my dad. So yeah, I understand.
It could be worse. It could be a Bears fan like my dad.
Oh boy, talking about bad luck.
I bet every chance he get, he talk about 85. So
no, he really don't.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
He's talking about they finally got a quarterback. That's what he probably going to every season like, yeah, I mean, we'll probably only do so much. We ain't got a quarterback.
He probably excited, but he need to be part of the Justin Fields starter club. So hey, it is what it is. Shout out to Sharky's dad, though. Real talk. That's the real one.
All right, it's time for the smoke.
We are out the gate, and I love it. So, for you guys that have been under a rock for the past week, Kwame Brown has been picking media personalities off one by one with a sniper rifle because he's been taking it for 20 years, and now he's like, look, rent's due, and I'm coming to collect. It's all started from the All the Smoke podcast, which came out last week with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. They had Gilbert Arenas on, and when they got to the portion of where Gil's career when he got to the Wizards, Kwame Brown's name was mentioned, and for lack of a better term, they kind of roasted him a little bit, which prompted Kwame Brown to hop on, with the quotes, but which prompted Kwame Brown to hop on the IG Live and defend himself. And for the most part, he was real articulate and everything. Didn't seem like he was angry or anything. He was laughing the whole thing off, and which prompted Steven and Matt to kind of do a full 180 on everything. And I'm just gonna run off a list of people that has crossed his path, that's been in the line of of his wrath. Let's see. So Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes, aka Becky with the good hair.
That's funny. That's funny.
Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, Rachel Nichols, Jamel Hill, Charlamagne the God, Ashley Yee, DJ Envy. Am I missing anybody?
Gilbert Arenas.
Oh, wait, no, I am missing. Chris Broussard, Rod Parker,
Gilbert
Arenas.
And look, Joe Budden talked about him on the last pod, praying that he don't talk nothing about him. You have to add Joe Budden to that list too.
So what makes this, and I'll get my portion out early, and then I'll just leave it to the rest of you guys. What makes this funny is that all these guys that he mentioned and just went back at are trying to make him out to be the bad guy, when honestly and truthfully, man, Kwame Brown was just living his life, just trying to do what he does for his community, and y'all just decided to roast him for what reason? For some reason. Okay, we get it. He was drafted number 1 overall. He wasn't a superstar. We get that. There's been other number 1 picks that hasn't panned out as well. Don't forget, you still got Andrea Bargnani, who nobody talks about. People forget Andrew Bogut was a number 1 overall pick who wasn't a superstar that we somehow don't roast. And then we still got Anthony Bennett.
Don't you disrespect Andrew Bogut like that.
Let me
he
see.
Played his role and he got him a ring or two.
I'm just going. Adam Morrison has a ring, so let's just keep it at that. Adam Morrison has a championship. You can't use that excuse with me, buddy. So we get it, but it's been 20 plus years since he got drafted, and I think one of the things that was interesting in one of his lives where he talked about is where he was originally drafted to be traded, actually, because MJ at the time, before he decided to go back and play for the Wizards, he wanted to flip Kwame Brown basically for Elton Brand, who I think at the time was like 20-10 for the Chicago Bulls. Abe Poland, the owner of the Wizards, I think at the time, and I believe still currently, nixed the trade. So of course, when Kwame comes in for the Wizards, MJ is just looking at him like, bro, I don't want you here, and treated him as such. And of course, that had its effect. But of course, Kwame was like, hey, I'm gonna stand on my own too. This is who I am and things of that nature. So I believe I've covered everything. Again, shout out to Kwame Brown. He's been on a tear, if you will. And it's been nothing but just facts and just like him just saying, hey, look, I'm doing what I'm doing as a man here. Y'all keep trying to badmouth me for what? At this point, it went past basketball, and they started to badmouth him as a person, which he hadn't done anything wrong. Like I'm saying, the brother was just living his life, doing what he can to help the community, and you try to badmouth him like this. But I've said my piece, so I'm just gonna leave it to y'all. Whoever wants to start first, go right ahead.
No, I actually agree with you. I'm just one of those people that, don't poke at somebody if they're not poking at you type of thing. And they went at him, and I actually see no issue with what Kwame Brown's done. Now, some of these people that, I'm not sure exactly why he's clapped at him. Like, I think I probably missed the part about Chris Broussard and Rob Parker, but he's like you said, he's standing 10 toes down, and he's clapping back at people that have come at him unrightfully. So I would do the same thing. I think the great philosopher Lil Wayne said, "You only smoke until you blow the smoke." And I think some of these people, they're probably regretting that, that they've mentioned Kwame Brown, in some of these talks, which I think, for the most part, I think he's done better than everybody on this podcast. The man was drafted, straight out of high school, was making millions of dollars. Last time I checked, I don't think you were making millions of dollars right out of high school. You know what I'm saying? Last time I checked, Trevor, like you had made, I think Kwame Brown's made over $28 million. The last time I checked, Trevor, I don't think you make that much money. Nope. So I don't think it's, I don't think it's right. I don't think it's fair for, for them, especially as black men, to come at him in the way in which they did, and they continuously do it. So I'm glad he's clapping back at him. Some of these clapbacks are pretty funny. He sounds like somebody's uncle, that's like from Mississippi or something, and he going at everybody. You don't want to make their uncle or their dad mad at the barbecue, because then you make him mad, and then everybody's little tea that that you thought was a secret, he finna spill it all, and then he's spilling it all, and then he calling you like MFers, he calling you the N-word, he calling everybody out. So I'm actually a fan with it, and I actually was kind of intrigued that he finally clapped back at Stephen A, because Stephen A,
he was on him for years.
Stephen A went at him when he was traded from the Lakers. So I'm with him. Like I said, don't poke at anybody that that you shouldn't be poking at, especially like you said, Trevor, when they just minding their own business.
Yeah, and real quick, and I'll touch on basically Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. So basically on their show, after everything had transpired, I think the first couple of days, they basically came out and was getting on Kwame Brown's case because he was using a lot of language and calling him angry and things of that nature, which, again, I've watched, preparing for the show, I've watched every single live stream that he's had since last week, and nothing on there shows that he was angry. Like, bro was laughing, joking, doing the whole nine. So it was just more so them trying to paint this image of him just being, how when it comes to women, with black women, when they can't really defend themselves in that way because the white people and things, and the angry black woman. So they was using that, trying to paint Kwame Brown as just this angry black man and things of that nature, when in actuality it wasn't the case. So that's what kind of caused him to clap back at those two.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call it anger. Trev, you hit it right on the head. If it's anything, is him trying to, to defend himself, right? Like, this is 20 years of calling this man a scrub, not just them, right? When you have a big platform like the Stephen A's, like the people he's clapping back at, like, that's their fan base attacking you every day, saying that mindset of calling you a scrub, you're no good. My thing is, bro, like, I want to apologize on behalf of the Let's Be Real podcast and the Let's Be Real network, because I don't want no smoke with a guy who participate in mutual combat. Who like nah, bro? Nah, you already way bigger than all of us combined. So nah, bro. So we apologize. I apologize. But no, on a serious note, one thing that I do want to ask Kwame Brown on a perspective level, why are we just not hearing about this? You know what I'm saying? You've been playing, you've been out the league, what, 10 years, right? This story about how Jordan treated you, how you were supposed to be traded. I think there's some context that could have been used years ago to kind of paint you as a, I don't want to say a better person, but in a way, a better player, because I get it. Michael Jordan was a freaking bully. He was a bully. We saw him bully players when he played with the Bulls.
He was playing,
so
yeah.
you expect him not to be the same way with an 18-year-old kid, a high school drafted number one. Of course, he's gonna try to get the potential out of you, but Jordan's way of doing that is bullying you. Yeah. So it got to the point where he didn't want to take a shot, and then you go to play with Kobe Jr. I mean, my kind of mindset, even though I'm $100 million paid, like my mental at that point wouldn't be it too. And what we're seeing now is just frustration. You know, he's clapping back at the people. Of course, he's starting his YouTube channel. Every time somebody talks about him, those subscriptions on Kwame Brown's part is going up. And like, you're not talking to an idiot, clearly. You know what I'm saying? Like, my man raised no fool. Shout out to her cooking. You know what I'm saying? So you're not playing with an idiot. Kwame Brown made $100 million, and he's gonna continue to troll until he can't. Like, he's hot. He's living in the moment, but he's letting it be real about how he felt about people that's calling him scrub, bum, all kind of names for 20 years, bro. At some point, you're gonna have to get bent in the ass if you're gonna keep poking the bear. And it's simple as that.
You can't really blame Kwame Brown for not coming out and mentioning the whole thing about Jordan and
I don't blame him, but I do blame him for not coming out with it earlier, because it could have helped with the perspective of Kwame Brown. You know what I'm saying? Instead of 20 years of calling him a bomb, maybe it's 20 years of us understanding, yo, you were supposed to be traded, or of the situation. You know what I'm saying?
I can see your point there. I just think that if he wasn't at 17, of course, he's not in a position to, you know, really say anything about it. Now, if it was like maybe a couple years ago, maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago, then I can see it. But better late than never.
The league, what, 10 years?
So what?
You've been out the league, what, 10 years now?
Close to it. I can't remember the last
time. Something like that. That's about right.
It's been close to it. But even then, like I said, better late than never, though. So
True.
Puts a lot of things in perspective to what we've already been saying. So, but go ahead, Sharky.
Man, wise man once said, better late than never, but never late is better.
Hey.
With Kwame Brown, well, I have no problems. I love the entertainment. I'm telling you, I've thoroughly enjoyed this whole week, every video, and after my butt off. Man, like y'all said, 20 years of frustration. Now, I didn't see the video that started everything with Stevie Jackson and Matt Barnes until after he came out. And I'm going to be honest, if I saw the video before Kwame Brown ever said anything, if I saw what they said, I wouldn't thought nothing else. And that's part of the reason. It's probably because as a society, we're just used to it. Because all they did was like, I heard Kwame Brown. It was like I'm trying to think of like the word, but it was like, hey, I heard Kwame Brown was greatest number one pick all the time. That was like, it was just a subliminal shot. And just hearing it, it wasn't funny. And they laughed at it, but I didn't think it was funny. And honestly, if I had heard it before Kwame Brown had retaliated, I wouldn't thought nothing else. I was just like, just like another dig, Kwame Brown, all right, what's new? But
yeah, like I didn't like that Gil called him a show pony. I didn't like that at all. And I was like, okay, now them fighting words right there. I don't care who you are. You is not going to refer to me in no kind of way as a pony. I don't care. This ain't genuine. This ain't genuine singing, bro. So like I said, I'm glad Kwame defended himself. I got newfound respect for him. He's very articulate. So hey, man, shout out to Kwame Brown. Bro's the MVP of 2021, like already, unless something else happens.
Yep. And really, it starts with Tuke, your boy, KD. He started this. He the first athlete who started retaliating at fans, right? Or retaliating anybody come at him. Guess what? KD.
Okay. I thought you were talking about Key started this Kwame Brown fiasco.
No.
Like, what?
No.
Come on, dog.
It's funny because
what KD say, man?
No. He shouted out on one of the lives. He shouted out KD. Kwame Brown shouted out KD because I think it was at one point when Stephen A. and KD were beefing, and KD's mom, kind of hopped up and was like, "Yo, you need to stop talking about my son like that." Or in the words of Kwame Brown, y'all need to stop talking about these mama sons like this, though. Like
exactly.
And to your point, Tuke, about I guess Kwame Brown waiting so late to speak up. Man, that's kind of just. I ain't gonna. That was my problem. I had like anytime I got so I felt a certain way. I just kind of held it in, but eventually you're going to snap over time when it just comes out. KD kind of paved the way to being the first athlete to say, "Nah, I ain't taking this no more. I'm about to speak out anytime somebody come to me. I'm talking." So that gives Kwame Brown now, who's been quiet all these years, all right, as soon as somebody else say something, all right, now you feel a little more comfortable to go ahead, spout out and finally defend yourself. And also, you held it in, so finally it just take one. Because I'm pretty sure, like, what Steve Ray said about him was way worse than what just got said about him a couple years ago. But you don't have that confidence.
Yeah, but no, but like it was like at this point, if you had just left him alone, like we wouldn't even be in this situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the other thing too is, for some people, if it's people that you aren't familiar with, if it's people that that you probably don't talk to on a day-to-day basis, or people you didn't grow up with or have a relationship with, if they talking bad about you, people like me, I don't care. But when it's people that these are players that that were in the league with him, these were people that he had some form of a friendship with, and when they talking about you like that on air, like and then like he said, like you haven't once called me, you hadn't said like you haven't called, pick up the phone and say, okay, yeah, I probably went about it the wrong way. When that happens, when people when people that you call friends are talking bad about you, then no matter how long it's been, then you feel the need to clap back.
So they ain't just with friends. All three of them were teammates of his.
Yeah, teammates.
Mm-hmm. So pretty much what you just said was like LeBron gave the players a choice while KD gave them a voice. Salute, brother. Salute.
Hey.
That's what Kings do.
That was a good one.
That's what Kings do, man.
Or something like that.
Something like that. But anyway, again, though, shout out to Kwame Brown, man. Like, you's a real one out there. Much respect, much love, man. Keep doing what you're doing for the community out there in Georgia. And we're just going to follow suit, man, because I'm trying to figure out a way to get something going with us. So, hey, shout out.
Yeah, maybe we need to go off on him. Then at that point we can get some more.
Dude,
little bastards out of this. Let me tell you.
Read my name.
We'll have a discussion, and until it's a discussion, we're not going to go off on them. We can have a nice, healthy debate and come to an agreement. But
do y'all even play basketball?
Exactly.
Get an intramural.
Man, in a real,
put on 50. My name is no.
Right. I put 4 on our football team, so hey, it is what it is.
Hey, I would love to go viral. Great for the show, but not for this.
Yeah. Hey, but once again, Kwame Brown, salute, man. You're a real one out there, my brother.
You got it, Mr. Brown.
Yes,
Mr. Brown.
What can Brown do for you? That's what we here for the podcast.
Actually, just mutual combat.
But no, that was actually smart. I was like, that's the one you don't want to miss. For him to know that the law in Seattle it's a law in Seattle that you don't have to sign anything to have hand-to-hand mutual combat. So you could legit have a fight in Seattle.
He knows that. You don't want to mess with somebody who knows that.
Exactly.
All right, man. Shout out to God want y'all. All right, so move forward, man. Let's get to athletes. Real talk. Keep it real talk. So there have been a couple of cases of athletes, high school athletes, who are passing up their 12th grade year for different circumstances. So I'll start with the first one that happened Thursday with Jaden, 5-star running back, Jaden Blue. He just signed with Texas in February. He's a junior, and he decided he's going to skip his senior year to train and heal his body for the next level. He did speak and said football is a brutal sport, and the wear and tear associated with running backs is undeniable as part of his reasoning. And so moving forward, next day, another Woj and Shams kind of toe-to-toe beef a little bit. So Woj reported at 8:19 on May 21st, Friday, that the top 15 high school juniors, Matt and Ryan, hope I pronounced the name right, Bewley, are signing 2-year deals with the new Overtime Elite Professional League. And they're the first high school players that are going to skip their senior. Now, Jeremy Tyler did back in the day. He went overseas.
Yeah, Jeremy Tyler did. He went overseas.
Yeah. And he had Bishop played with Golden State and stuff. So they're skipping their senior year to go play this Overtime Elite League. And they are expected to be the top 7 figures over their 2 years in this league. And it's a new starter league that's starting September 21st this year. Started with Kevin Ollie as the head coach. Matt Bewley is a top number 3 rated prospect in ESPN's class of 2023, and Ryan was ranked number 12 prospect. Then Sean's come out 3 hours later at 12:45. G League, Scoot. This is a great name, Scoots Henderson. Real name Scooter Henderson, short Scoots. So I'm gonna enjoy. Scoot Henderson, 5-star recruit out of Georgia, is skipping his senior year to sign the G League contract with the Ignite G League.
Ignite, yeah. Okay.
Yep. He is believed to be the youngest professional player in American basketball, in the history of American basketball. I'm thinking about overseas. Yep. History of American basketball, and his deal is straight up $1 million at age 17.
Know your worth, man. Know your worth.
Know your worth. Dang.
Man. So in order of, I guess, Tuke, Skylar, and Trevor, how do y'all feel? Do y'all like the idea of athletes skipping their senior year, knowing they work for sports, or how was y'all whole deal?
I have no problem with it, only if they are committed. Only if they have signed on that sheet of paper, I will be attending that school. And they're comfortable with that decision. Am I really okay with it? I mean, of course, they're essentially growing up. They're not grown yet, but they do have people that look out for them that's helping them with that decision. But I have no problem with it. I think what we're seeing is a positive benefit of social media. Like you said, you have the one player who signed for millions of dollars. I think that with social media comes awareness of yourself. Not to get into good above the high content, but it's just like you become aware of yourself, right? You know who you are, you know what you want to do, you want to play sports for a living. Okay, well, let's go. And now more and more players are getting paid, more and more high schoolers are being able to come out and put their families and themselves in a better situation with playing the sport that they love. So if you don't want to play that last year to put that extra weight or extra scratches on your body, cool, sit out, enjoy being a kid for your maybe the last time that you'll be able to do that, because once you get into the college atmosphere, it's going to be a different ball game. But yeah, I think if you go ahead and also mentally prepare yourself as well, it'll make you that much better. We seen that with the Lamar Ball, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, even though people would call him scrubs up or whatever, he's a professional athlete, and he's been that way. Not only he's a rookie now, but he has 3 years on his body, and he's way above his peers right now, in my opinion. So I think you're putting yourself in a better situation, mentally, physically, and of course financially. So I don't have a problem with it.
No, and I don't have an issue with it either. I think that just shows you, that everybody has different goals in their life, and there's many ways to reach your goal, no matter how you go about it. So with them, foregoing their senior year, and which is crazy that I couldn't imagine foregoing my senior year, like in high school, skipping prom, skipping senior ditch day, just to go play.
That doesn't mean that, though. I don't think it means that, though, Skylar. I don't think it means that. It just means that you're not participating in sports. That's the mindset.
I guess I'm more so thinking about the guys that that are. I think they're like going.
You still got guys
the guys are going overseas.
Yeah, that's
right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's what's more so that is what I'm thinking. Being able to like comfortably say, yeah, I'm gonna skip X, Y, and Z just so I can reach my career goals of of making it to the league. It's like I said, it's different different avenues that you can take to get to your goal, and these guys are definitely taking that to the extreme. So definitely kudos to them. I think it's also kudos to the people that are in their corner and saying let's go about going overseas. You just mentioned LaMelo Ball, like Jalen Green is like is putting a buckets in on his G League team. So you don't necessarily have to go to college. You don't necessarily have to go overseas. It's different ways that you can go about doing whatever you want to do. Just be comfortable in your decision making. So tell you exactly what you just said to I'm excited for these guys. I definitely want to see what they look like, especially I think the Twins or something like that. I'm happy for them. Again, this is another, this is, more money lost for the NCAA, right? Just because they can't get their crap together. I'm not sure, how many people are actually, following that, but, there's, states are, putting different rules out, if you go to a school in Georgia, if you go to a school in Florida, there, if you can be compensated, there are certain percentages, that the school takes some of that, some of that is all going to the players and stuff like that. And that's just because the NCAA themselves don't have a rule in place for the name, image, and likeness rule that we talked about a few months back. So I think this is a huge product of that. The NCAA not being uniform. They're not being they're not having their feet set on exactly how they want to go about paying players who want to be paid. Black people, we aren't as fortunate as other different races. With having money that's waiting for us once we graduate from high school, once we graduate from college. Like sometimes we have to make decisions like this by foregoing or sitting out a year, so that we aren't putting on this wear and tear on our body, just so that we can make money for ourselves and for our families as soon as we can. So I'm happy for them.
Yeah. Yes, I'm excited. I'm happy for them as well. If you can position yourself or your family in a much better position, and if it means foregoing your senior year of high school to do so, then by all means go and do it. There's been a lot of advances made as far as technology is concerned, so you can always go back and get your education if you want to. So that's always an option there. Of course, knowledge is power, so it is what it is there. So again, kudos to those guys for that. And my alien brother said at one point that the top 5 NBA draft, in one draft, the top 5 players are going to be from either overseas or coming from G League at night. I'm actually going to double down.
How much time I got on that? I actually just thought about that. Literally, it's crazy you said. How much time I got on that?
2022.
2 years.
I'm calling it now. 2022. Top 5 picks in the NBA in the 2022 NBA draft will not be from an NCAA school. I'm willing to book that at this point. But again, kudos to those guys, man. Go for yours. And as long as you can make an impact in society and be knowledgeable as well, I'm all for it. So.
Yep. I just hope I appreciate and think I like what they're doing. I have no problems with it. I mean, if you're not going to college, you just can go there 1 year and leave. You can always go back and get your GED. You can always go back and get your GED, diploma, finish high school. I don't about the outlooks of these kids don't seem like they're dumb or anything. They seem like they're intelligent. I just hope that at our age, when we was coming up, we didn't get, and I think all of us turned out pretty well financial wise, learning how to navigate. But most kids in their position or athletes don't know the financial side because they don't give us financial courses in high school. And like Skylar said, even to the Black community, we wasn't blessed to of their understanding coming up. Like our parents, they wasn't. Like, we're just now learning all of this. So I'm hoping that their parents or they have some type of sense of don't blow through $1 million, right? Don't, because you see all these athletes just coming up broke in here, after they retire. So I'm hoping they do know, they do have some sense of how to navigate and not come out of this broke if things don't work out. So, anybody got anything else?
Great talk, y'all. Great talk.
Cool. All right, let's take it to playoffs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, y'all know what time it is. It's time to get a little bit more smoky. You know what I'm saying? Whoever wants to smoke, we got it, because we're going to do, I'm going to ask you guys, who you all expect to win series by series. Don't have to spend too much time on it, but there will be times when smoke will be, we're here and we're gonna clear that smoke. So let's start. Of course, we all got Brooklyn winning in 4. Okay, cool. Next, we're going to stay in the Eastern Conference. No. So, I mean, Brooklyn, Boston.
Back that up, sir. Back that up. Because
no. Hey, that's what I'm here for. But no, I got Brooklyn in 4. I guess we can start in the order of Lito, Trev, Sharky.
We're talking about the Nets and Celtics series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's done in for. I was just trolling.
Okay. I was going to say, like, what? I mean,
if anything, game one, which happened on yesterday, that game was much closer than I thought it would be. But Jason Tatum, as good as he is, would not be able to carry the Celtics to. I mean, maybe they get a
Robert
game.
Woods is breaking blocking records.
That's fine. That's fine. But 9 blocks, clearly 9 blocks in a single NBA game is still not going to get you a dub. So, and if anything, like you saw, the Brooklyn Nets. I did learn this about them. They can play defense. If there was one thing that I was worried about the Nets, it's I finally see them say,
"Oh my, thank you."
I finally seen them say, I've seen them play sound defense, which has been my worry. Now, as we all say it on this podcast, and it's the number one rule on this podcast, consistency is key. Granted, it's the Celtics, and Celtics are shorthanded, but the Nets did play defense. Can they do it again? Can they do it for stretches of games at a time? Is what I'm worried about. It was good to see them play defense, but can they consistently do it? But yeah, I'm pretty sure the Nets will win this one in 4.
The Nets will be nice with it. Nets in 5. Boston to get 1 in the Garden just because send their fans home happy. They'll get 1.
I can see that.
Nets in 4. Next.
For that reason is why I got Kyrie putting on a show in that last game if they go when they go to Boston. So yeah, Boston in 4. Moving on along, let's go
to Brooklyn in 4, sir. You said Boston. You mean Brooklyn in 4.
I mean Brooklyn. My bad. Of course.
I gotta help you out there because I'm like.
I mean, I done said it like 1,000 times, so the people know. Let's go on to New York and Atlanta. I won't say a blowout. I do say a gentleman's sweep. Give me New York in 5.
Man, this one has been one series that I cannot put my finger on. I'm going Hawks in 7.
What?
I'm going Hawks in 7.
Boy, you better be happy Savage home with the
I'm gonna be honest with you.
What's the title of this podcast?
Let's be real. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. That is not far-fetched. Because if you've seen the way Atlanta has been playing since Nate McMillan has taken over, like it's a shame.
First, it's a shame. I love black man, but nah.
It's a shame that he wasn't a finalist for Coach of the Year because he completely turned the Atlanta season around. But with that being said, I got to roll with Coach Savage because I think New York is going to slow the game down, and they're going to defend, and they're going to be annoying. They're going to be a tough out for whoever they play. So give me New York in 6.
Yeah, give me Knicks in 6. Only because as great as Nate McMillan is in the regular season, in the playoffs, he does tend to disappoint. And for that reason, I had to give the Knicks in 6.
Cool. All right, let's keep it going. Philadelphia versus Washington. I got Philly in 6.
I think I'm gonna go with Philly in 6. It really should be Philly in 4. It really should, but come on now. We know who's the coach. We know who's the coach in Philadelphia, and because I just want to give a level of respect for Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal, which it is only those two on that Wizards team. I could see Philly struggling in a game or two, so I'll take Philly in 6 as well.
For those reasons that you just mentioned, Skylar, I'm going Philly in 7.
Okay.
I really think Washington makes it real difficult, and I think because of Doc Rivers, yeah, give me Philly.
Y'all really don't like Doc. This is crazy.
I will say this: an interesting matchup in that series is going to be who's checking Russell Westbrook, whether that's Ben Simmons or the Thibault guy, and they both play really good defense. So can they slow down Russell Westbrook?
If both of them are on the floor at the same time, I mean, Thibault can spread the floor. I mean, yeah, it's clamps, but on the offensive end, what you looking like? Thibault's a decent 3-point shooter, but who else are you going to put on the floor with those two and Embiid? Because you got to be able to space the floor.
Give me Philly and gentleman sweep. Y'all forgot Scott Brooks is coaching Washington. Next.
Yeah, that's true.
That is very true.
That is true.
That is very true. All right, let's head with the last matchup of the Eastern Conference, man. Let's get those Miami versus Bucks picks. Hey, man, I'm rolling with the homies in 7. It's going to be a dog fight to the end. Jimmy Butler had a terrible game, but you know what I'm saying? Miami in 7. This what they here for. Knicks in 4? Hey.
Knicks in 4.
Knicks in
He
4?
must be an assistant coach.
That's possible.
He must be an assistant coach. And 4. Sheesh. Man, this series is.
I've been saying she got to be from New York. She got to be from New York.
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah.
Hey, enjoy this time. Y'all waited 25,000 years.
You got the Knicks and the Nets in there, so you got Brooklyn and New York in there. Just enjoy it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Enjoy this moment. Enjoy this time.
It.
As far as the Bucks and the Heat, that one's difficult. I've been going back and forth on that one as well, and I believe the winner of this series will face, of course, the Nets, and whoever wins that series, whether that's the Nets versus the Bucks or the Nets versus the Heat, I think could potentially make it to the finals, to be completely honest about it. I could see a scenario in which it's Nets and Bucks, and the Bucks come out because, now granted, I know it was a regular season, but the Nets did not have an answer for Giannis at all. He torched them every single time. And again, the Nets and their inconsistency, their inability to consistently play defense scares me. So I guess in this series, give me the Bucks. I don't know why I'm saying to give me the Bucks. The Drew Holiday, I think, is the main reason I'm saying give me the Bucks. That is the sole reason I'm saying that.
I really want to go Miami. I really do, but they should have won yesterday's game. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Even with everything that's transpired, they still were in position to win. They should have won yesterday's game. Bucks and 7, man. Bucks and 7.
Yeah, it's like I told y'all a couple of episodes ago. I was like, the Bucks, if we play them, Bucks look a little different this year with Drew Holiday. And Chris Middleton, that shot, that was a good, man. No better defense than that. Mm-hmm. So give me I know Sheedy has the Heat in 6. He said that yesterday. He called me. Give me the Bucks in 6. I'm gonna be honest. I think honestly, Victor Oladipo, if he was healthy and could play in this series, I would thought differently. But with him being out, the Heat just don't have it this year, and the Bucks are much better. So give me Bucks in 6.
Looking like the Pacers.
I would never understand those. I know the concept of those jerseys, but I still would never understand what possessed Mickey Harrison or Pat Ryder, whoever's in charge of designing jerseys for the Heat, needs to be fired.
Let's go with that one. Who said that?
Who said yes to these jerseys?
No. Here's the thing. Them jerseys gonna stay. They get rid of the Miami Vice jerseys this year. Like, come on,
man. They crazy.
Come on, man.
I
don't understand how you have a trophy gold jersey.
Now, I will say this: the one where they had like the blended blue and pink, those can go, but the other Miami Vice jerseys, they can keep those.
Right. All right, so let's get into this Western Conference. One of the games that was played yesterday was the Melo reunion. We can call it that. Portland won, and I also have them beating the Nuggets, fortunately, in 6.
I really want to say Portland in 5. But Portland in 6.
I mean, Portland in 6. Roll with me, brother. Roll with me.
Yeah, Portland in 6, and I don't even think it'll be that close, to be completely honest with you. I think, at this point, you're asking Jokic to do a lot. I think Jokic played. We'll talk about the MVPs in here in a second, but Jokic played every game this year, and you're asking him to play the way in which he did all this year. Also, with what he did last year in the bubble, like, that's a lot. And I just think, granted, Portland plays zero defense. Neither does Denver. So, and I think I trust, the trio of, Dame, CJ, and clearly Melo. I'm not sure what the hell the Denver Nuggets were doing by booing Melo, but you see what happens when you put Melo on Denver. He went off on them, and I think that was rightfully so.
The house that Melo built, and they have the nerve to boot this man. That's crazy. And we talking about smoke. I know that's the title of this podcast. I won't smoke with every analyst, analytics, stat person that said that Carmelo Anthony was done. I won't smoke with every last one of y'all. Like, I'm calling y'all out right here, right now. Like, that's a shame that y'all just 3 years ago y'all were saying this man was done, and clearly he's still playing on a high level. But with that being said, Skylar won't go there, but I'm going there. Blazers in 5.
Yep. I want to say Portland in 5 too, but I just don't trust them to finish them off in 5. So give me Portland in 6. Portland 10 to like blow torch a couple games.
I do want to say something real quick, and I know this isn't starting 5, but that draft that Triple J was in, and Michael Porter Jr. was in that same draft. I was,
I wanted him.
I was one of them people that I was like, yeah, I mean, I understand he got a back issue, and he could potentially, he was going to miss his full rookie year, but I was one of them people like, I would probably still pull the trigger on Michael Porter Jr. And that man has been balling. His skill level has, skyrocketed over the past, several months. So I think, for what it's worth, I think, of course, if you're the Nuggets fan, you definitely want to have Jamal Murray, for this series. But for what it's worth, you get to see Michael Porter Jr. with zero conscience, put up shots. And, he almost has to do it. And these shots are going in. And his confidence level is going to continue to rise. And Denver could be really scary, depending on how things play out in the West. Denver could be really scary for the next couple of years.
They got to get some more shooters.
Yeah.
I think we watched that draft together.
Mm-hmm.
We sure did.
We none of us picked a Triple J. We wanted Michael Porter at that time. What do you know?
We know our basketball.
Yeah, I think it had some. It didn't have something.
QD.
The KD. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Even though he's not Puerto Rican, but okay. He's not Puerto Rican, but okay.
For our audio listeners, we have a person coming in. Matter of fact, it's Town of Rocks. I wear the guy who made our logo. So
yeah, shout out to hey, get out.
I see what he's doing there. I see what he's doing there. I feel it. I feel
KD. Yo, that's hilarious, bro. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's hilarious, bro. Let's keep it going, man. Another game that happened yesterday was the Clippers and Dallas. Dallas won yesterday, but I have the Clippers winning in 7. I don't see Kawhi leaving the first round. So, what y'all got to say?
You mean getting put out the first round, leaving the first round?
Getting put out the first round.
Okay. I'm going that same road that you're on too. Of the Clippers winning this series in 7. I think Sharky tweeted this yesterday. Dallas won game 1 last year, but the Clippers still won that series because KP went down. If it wasn't for KP going down last year, because KP was working them last year. Now, granted, he didn't do that game 1 on yesterday, but he was working them. And like I said, if he didn't get hurt, they potentially could have won that series last year. The Clippers, for the talk of when Kawhi Leonard and Paul George got there, them being the 2 best wing defenders since Jordan and Pippen, and for neither one of them to be able to guard Luka Doncic is, as a Lakers fan, I think it's freaking hilarious, to be honest with you. So I think, I will say this, as a Lakers fan, the Clippers better win this series because, in my opinion, we didn't talk about this on this podcast. The Clippers dodged the Lakers, and you did all that dodging. Mm-hmm. And you still may potentially get put out the first round by the Mavericks. So I don't know. It'll be interesting, but I think it'll be close. And I will say this: the Clippers have been probably the worst team in the league. 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, they can't close for nothing. And you saw that on yesterday. So if these games continue to be close, watch how the Mavericks, could potentially pull away and steal a game here and there. So it'll be pretty interesting. But I'm still going to go Clippers in 7, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was an upset.
It's apparent that from last year, the Clippers still don't know how to guard Luka Doncic. And another reason why the Clippers won this series on top of KP going down was that's funny. That's funny. But another reason the Clippers were able to beat the Mavericks was that Luka went down with that ankle injury. Even though he still played, he wasn't 100%. He's 100% this year, and they still don't know how to guard him. So until I see that change, I'm going Mavs in 6. I'm going there until I see the Clippers know how to guard and find a way to contain Luka Doncic. I'm going Mavs in 6.
Yeah, give me Clippers in 6. Like last year, I just don't trust Dallas. Honestly, KP isn't the same. A lot of their fans are out on him, and let's see. Actually, it's depending on him, in my opinion, and I don't trust him to step up to the occasion.
What possessed Ty Lue to start the game with Patrick Beverly on Luka Doncic? I would never would know. I respect Pat Bev, but come on now.
Now that's fake defense. We was talking about Dylan early in the season, so he was fake defense. Now he got real defense. Pat Bev, that's fake.
In the words of the Brody himself, Russell Westbrook, Pat Bev trick y'all, man.
We'll take it though. I know Scott says if the Clippers lose, Lakers fans they don't get on them. If the Clippers do lose, you was talking about them dodging. We got Dodgers chicken. I'm eating a bucket of Dodgers chicken on this podcast live if they lose the series.
Need to be some Dodgers pizza because they pizza be hit.
Pizza good.
Sorry, we hadn't been bet on the podcast.
Well, they actually got pizza, not the pizza sticks. They actually have
pizza.
They have pizza now. Yeah.
Pizza hit, bro. Tell me. Pizza hit.
Oh man, that make me miss home. Speaking of home, let's get into the next series. Easy plug. Make sure y'all listen to the Star and Five Pod. We break down why we, got our selections. Let's go to Memphis, Utah. My crazy self have Memphis winning in 6. I think they carry that momentum into this series, and Ja Morant is going to try to prove that he can get the Grizzlies to where Mike Conley could as well. So give me Grizz in 6.
I'm going Jazz in 6, just because, like I said, on 35, I don't want us to disrespect, what the Jazz did in the regular season. Granted, it's the regular season, but they do 2 things really well that, as a championship team, you definitely want to have, which is shoot the 3-ball well and play pretty good defense. I think the biggest thing that I'm concerned about for the Jazz is what Donovan Mitchell looks like. I think Sharky said that, he's been out for 2 months. So one of my keys, for the Grizzlies and for Dillon Brooks is do not let that man get comfortable. You saw what he did in the bubble last year. As he's coming back, as he's trying to, get his footing, he's trying to catch his breath. Like, don't let that man get comfortable. And I think if you can do that, then I think at that point the playing field is level. Now, granted, Utah beat the brakes off the Grizzlies every year, every game this season, I think, except for one. And I think that was the one game. Yeah, that was the one time.
The other 2 games close.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a blowout on my spot.
It was on one
blowout. Got mad at Dylan Brooks after one of them games for missing 2 layups.
That game, yeah. Layups in transition, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Jazz in 6, but I would really like the Grizzlies to, at this point, play freely. You've got into the playoffs. At this point, nobody's expecting you to win. Just go out there and ball. And I think another key factor is, and that's what led, the Grizzlies to beat the Warriors is Ja Morant has got to be able to, one, be willing to take threes, but then also make them. If they do that, that opens the floor for everybody else.
Yeah. And I said it on Starting 5 also. I'm actually going to go with Tuke. I think the Grizzlies get this in 6. And it's no disrespect to the Jazz at all. Like I said, they're a well-oiled machine. They shoot the ball well. They defend well. But for that reason, what Scott just mentioned, for the Grizzlies to play freely, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. They're just going to come out. They're going to play free. They're going to play loose. The Jazz has had some time off. I think it's been maybe a week since they have played a game. Feels like 2 weeks. So, of course, you have the whole thing of rest versus rust. They're going to struggle from 3 at least with these first 2 games. You can count on that. And that's just from being off for some time. And that's an opportunity for Memphis to steal one. And then, of course, we all know they're not losing game 3 when in that first game here in Memphis. And if Memphis can protect home court, I think they can pull this off. So give me Grizz in 6.
If Grizz win this series, I'm scared of what Bill could look like. I'm scared to see what Bill Street could look like if the Grizzlies win this series.
Bill Street gonna be looking like Vegas.
Man, what?
Especially when it's 6, because they'll be home.
Yeah. Woo! Yes, they'll be here. I would go to Bill personally myself if the Grizz pull it off and turn up with Grizz Nation. I swear. Growl towel and all.
For me, give me Jazz in 6. Coaching matters in the playoffs. Taylor Jenkins ain't there yet. Quinn Snyder is a really good coach. He's going to out-coach him and when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, in my opinion. And also, I think Jaren Jackson is not ready for the moment, and we really need him to really be close to even what he was those couple of bubble games last year to pull this one out. So give me Jazz in 6.
Okay.
Cool. And last but not least, where the smoke, there's fire. We got the Phoenix Suns, no pun intended, versus the Los Angeles Lakers. Skylar's looking like that because I have to keep on my normal bet of picking against the Lakers. You know, normally when I shouldn't, but hell, they going against Phoenix, and I want Phoenix turn. And actually, what I think is the winner of this series are going to go to the finals. So I'm gonna go out and say it, man. Phoenix in 7. I'm not too confident in the health of LeBron and AD, and they are missing playoff Rondo. Rondo did a lot, Skylar. You can attest to how he contributed to last year's teams. And I don't think, y'all just said whoever's not it. I don't think Dennis Schroeder's it. And Chris Paul, he's hungry. This is the first time he's went against, LeBron. And I think the Phoenix Suns, they gonna go literally all in, especially Lake Show. I mean, I get it. In 7, that'll be cool. But you know what I'm saying? I think the Phoenix are hungry, and I think they're ready. But the floor is yours for the Lakers fan of the show.
Let me say this about Dennis Schroeder. I think he's going to regret that he did not take that contract extension. He's going to regret it because if anything that you saw the Lakers, at least at point guard, Alex Caruso is going to get minutes. He is really, really good at defense, and he's going to be able to, he showed what he can do against Steph Curry when he was guarding him, and I think he may be able to, give Chris Paul some struggles as well too. So I really want to go Lakers in 5, but I'm going Lakers in 6 because as great as they are defensively, the Lakers struggle offensively, and I think that's what potentially could give Phoenix a game or 2 here. So I'm going Lakers in 6. DeAndre Ayton will not have a good series. You can book that.
I said it all season until somebody beats them. Till I see it.
Mm-hmm. We've read this before.
Lakers in 6 until somebody beat them. Till somebody beat them. Lakers in 6.
I want so bad for a series for me to predict the series to go 7 games, but the Lakers, no series went past 6 games last year when they won the championship, right? So there's no reason to believe that they're not going to go past 6 this year. Lakers in 6. LeBron is what, 34-0 in the first round or what? Some type of record like that. He's never lost in the first round. He ain't about to do it this year.
Yeah. It would have to take a serious injury to one of them. And I get it.
What are the injuries they got now?
I mean,
like somebody missing the game.
Somebody missing games. If LeBron and AD is on the floor, their chances of winning are pretty much up there. But I get it. They don't have Rondo anymore. They don't have Dwight Howard anymore. 2 guys who were key in that 2020 run. But again, till I see somebody beat them 4 out of 7, Lakers in 6.
But I do agree. Whoever, I forgot who said it. The winner of the series is going to the finals.
Yeah,
Those two.
Yeah.
I just hate we get this matchup in the first round, man. That's all. So I guess I guess we can wait to give our finals predictions, even though y'all pretty much know who I got going to the finals. So if y'all want to wait, we can. If y'all want to say who y'all got,
let's wait. Let's wait.
Second time is gone here.
Yeah.
All right, Scout.
Cool. It's on me. All right. So the award finalists for the NBA awards have been finalized. And I know we kind of went through these, if not last week, but the week before. So I'll go through the finalists yet again as they've been named, and then the results will be made shortly. So for the NBA Most Valuable Player, the 3 finalists were Stephen Curry, Joel Embiid, and Nikola Jokic. I guess I know we went through these awards a week or 2 ago, but in case anybody's opinion has changed, I'm mine, we can kind of go through these. We can give our choices yet again. So for the MVP, I think a couple weeks ago I said Joel Embiid, but Nikola Jokic has absolutely balled. He's played every game this season. His team finished with the top 3 record in the West, which I think is really, really good. The team even played a little bit better, and his numbers even went a little bit higher, even after Jamal Murray went out. I think that's enough for me. I really wish that, I really wish Steph Curry would have been able to at least get in the playoffs. His knock of, not being able to get MVP because his team is not in the playoffs is like, you can't just vote for somebody to get MVP and they're not in the playoffs. Like, for me, that's kind of hard. So I'm actually switching my pick from a week or two ago to Nikola Jokic for MVP.
Why was he on the ballot? That's my question.
Who?
Because he led the league in scoring and almost got the bum-ass Warriors to the playoffs. And I'm saying it as a Warriors fan.
So apparently leading the league in scoring warrants you a finalist for MVP.
Well, I wouldn't say, well, I mean,
why not?
Yeah, I
right there. I mean, why? It's a regular season award anyway. You right there. Why not?
Yeah, it's a regular season award. I get that, but you got to look at team success in some shape or form. And I honestly you would have put Chris Paul in that third spot over Steph Curry.
But I would say this.
That's good.
I would say this to combat that. Hit team success. Take Steph Curry off the Golden State Warriors team. Folks are literally in the lottery.
No, they're not in the lottery. They're getting a number 2 pick.
Okay.
We saw that last year.
I'm gonna throw it right back. You take Chris Paul off the Suns. They're back in the lottery.
You're still in the playoffs.
No, they're not a lottery.
No. I said that even in the bubble, they went undefeated, bro.
There you
go.
They
went undefeated in the bubble.
Yeah, I
games last season, bro. I think they can still be in the
race. So are they tops are they in the position they are in the West now? Are they the 2 seed?
They're not 2, but they're at least.
They're not 2.
Where the Warriors were.
The only reason they're 2 is the Lakers. They did have injury issues. That's the only reason they're 2, in my personal opinion.
Okay.
Hey, this is kind of similar.
Am I wrong, Tuke? Am I wrong? The Lakers they were 1 or 2 before.
This is gonna be a good series.
But here go. I got to combat that. I do think I would have put Chris Paul still for top 3 based on being like 8 seed. It could have been 7 seed as well. But Russell Westbrook going to be as a 7 seed 1 year. Although he averaged triple-double that first time, but still, like, this is similar to that. I was 6 seed.
They were 6. Yeah. But yeah, and I get it because of the storyline. I understand it, but I just think that Chris Paul should have got some form of a nod there. But
he's probably 4.
Yeah, I'm changing mine as well because, like Skylar, I also chose Joel Embiid to be MVP, but it's clear runaway that it's going to be Nikola Jokic. It's a shame we won't be able to see him as much in the playoffs this go around because I do think Portland takes care of business, but what he's done all season long has been nothing short of amazing. So Nikola Jokic, it's my MVP.
Jokic.
Yep, I ain't switching the damn thing. Give me Jokic.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. We're moving along to Rookie of the Year, and I'm not sure if anybody's mind has switched on this one, but the finalists were LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, and Therese Halliburton. Which I would say this: Therese Halliburton, I think he definitely made he definitely closed the season really well for the Kings. Granted, it's the Kings, but I think he closed really well. I think this is LaMelo Ball's award, very, very easily. Did anybody else's opinion or idea change on that one?
Therese, I just want to make a comment on Therese Halliburton. Therese Halliburton was like playing exceptionally well for the Kings up till he got injured, and then of course in the second half once he was able to get back from injury. So kudos to him for that. But no, it's LaMelo Ball's to lose. Charlotte was in the position that they were in because of him. Prior to him going out, I believe the Hornets were a 4th seed in the playoffs, and then it just kind of took a dip. A lot. TNT want to say Gordon Hayward, but it was really LaMelo Ball, and what he brought to that franchise. So yeah, it hasn't changed for me. LaMelo Ball, wild landslide.
LaMelo.
Next.
Right. And that was shout out to him, man, for proving to us that he can ball and just have fun off the court. I'm definitely looking forward to see him grow, but I would love to see a Ball in the Family episode of LaMelo winning this award in some type of form. Because I ain't getting nothing all season, man. Y'all know I was a huge fan of that show, so at least give us an episode.
I would be surprised if it was a Cole, but it's LaMelo Ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's LaMelo for sure.
Yeah, it's LaMelo for sure.
Cool. Sounds like we all agree there one. So defensive player of the year, the finalists were y'all boy Rudy Gobert, Draymond Green, and Ben Simmons. I actually think Ben Simmons will win this award just for the perimeter defense that he played throughout the season. He blocked up a lot of pretty good players in the league this year. Now, granted, I think Dylan Brooks should be up there too, but that's just me. But for me, it's Ben Simmons.
I appreciate your advocacy for Dylan Brooks there, but not for Depoy. We'll keep it. We'll keep it at all NBA defensive team. We'll keep it there. This is another one that I actually had an issue with. I don't see why Draymond was on this list. I honestly think Bam Adebayo should have been on this list over Draymond Green.
But he showed it again yesterday. He showed it again.
He showed it again yesterday in Miami's game against the Bucks. And I get it with Draymond Green because he did come out after the loss of the Grizzlies saying, this year I was able to mess up everybody's team offense. Yeah, including your own as well. But yeah, including your own offense as well. But out of these three, I think Ben Simmons gets the nod because he's been consistent as far as defending on the perimeter. He's locked up some pretty big names and things of that nature. So give me Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons.
Next.
That's what his name fixed a couple weeks ago.
Tuke, did you name yours? Oh, Tuke's out? Oh, he's back.
He's back. Mute.
You muted, brother.
Oh, y'all ain't switching the damn thing. Ben Simmons.
Oh, okay. Well, next.
Okay. The NBA Most Improved Player. The finalists are Jeremy Grant, Michael Porter Jr., and Julius Randle. I will say this: if it weren't for the success that Julius Randle is having and has had, I think this is actually pretty close because I think all three have made really big strides from last year to this year. But Julius Randle, I think hands down, is going to win this award.
Yeah, Julius Randle by a landslide. It's just the leap that he made from last year to this year, and then where the Knicks are currently, where they can potentially win a playoff series. Yeah, Julius Randle.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Julius Randle, but salute to Jeremy Grant. He was on my fantasy team this year. Man.
Gave me problems.
I only didn't make the championship because they rested him because they were tanking.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Julius Randle. Shout out to the Knicks. They gonna actually probably treat this like they probably gonna treat this like an MVP award.
So let them have it, man.
Let them. Hey, Randle did this.
Let them have it. They deserve it.
Did this thing, man. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that Julius Randle was in like top 10 MVP vote. Like I wouldn't be surprised. He's special.
And also special shout out to Kyle Anderson. He didn't make the top 3, and you see who made it.
That's mine.
That's all I can.
That would have been my pick.
That's mine.
I mean, because he's having he had career highs in points, rebounds, and assists. Again, the numbers don't jump out at you, but what he's done, his role for the Grizz has been a big role.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's been beautiful. It's been helpful in them getting in the playoffs. So, but yeah.
Okay. So did you go?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did good.
All right. So not so good for the Memphis Grizzlies on this tip. But the finalists for the NBA Six-Man was announced, and there are 2 players from the Utah Jazz, Jordan Clarkson, Joe Ingles, and then Derrick Rose for the Knicks. So potentially, some type of news for the Grizzlies. They got to deal with it in this first round. I'm actually going with Jordan Clarkson on this one. I really like. I think Jordan Clarkson could be mentioned as for most improved as well on this one too. I watched quite a few Jazz games, and he, whether it was off the bench or when he was able to start for Donovan Mitchell, he was able to put up some really good buckets. His ability to shoot the 3 now is Absolutely crazy. He didn't. I don't think he was able to shoot like this when he was a Laker or when he was a Cavalier. So I'm going with Jordan Clarkson on this one.
Oh man, that Jordan Clarkson one is tough. But for the sake of the podcast, I am going with Derrick Rose for Sixth Man of the Year. We had just talked about everything with Julius Randle and what he's been able to do for the Knicks, but them acquiring Derrick Rose early in the season
Good point.
Was just as big as what Julius Randle has done. And I get it, Utah's number one in the West. I get it, everything with Jordan Clarkson. He's had a phenomenal season. Could have definitely been in a finalist for most improved player. I'm going with Derrick Rose here. I think this is his award.
Well, I would love Derrick Rose to win. I really want him to win, but I think Jordan Clarkson gets it. Just with consistency. Well, I'm not saying Derrick Rose had a bad start to the year or anything, but Jordan Clarkson from beginning to end, hands down. Derrick Rose, if you go from February on.
Right. My sentiment is exactly Charlie. I would love to see Derrick Rose win this award, but Clarkson, like 18 points a game, like you can't deny that, man. Especially like I said, all year doing this thing off the number one team in the Western Conference. Like definitely, I'm a Robert Clarkson.
Yeah, cool. And the last award, the finalists for the Coach of the Year have been named. Quinn Snyder of the Utah Jazz, Tom Thibodeau for the New York Knicks, and Tuke's boy Monty Williams of the Phoenix Suns was mentioned as well. This one's tough. I'm not going to even lie to you. I think all three have a pretty solid case. But I think if I had a vote, I would go Tom Thibodeau. I think beginning of the season, if anybody outside of Savage would have told you that the New York Knicks were going to make the playoffs, I think you would have laughed at them. So for that team to make the playoffs after the long history or the most recent years of them being absolutely trash, Tom Thibodeau being able to get that team up and ready, getting them to a 5 seed in the East, I think is remarkable. So I'm actually going Tom Thibodeau. I want to say Monty Williams, but I think the acquisition of Chris Paul is more so, the reason why they are a 2 seed. So I'm actually going with Thibodeau.
So your case against Monty Williams was my case for why Chris Paul should have been in the MVP discussion. And Tuke mentioning that the Suns were 8-0 in the bubble. Who was the coach of that team? Monty Williams. I said it before the season started. I said it 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to say it again. Monty Williams, coach of the year. I'm sticking with it.
I think he will get it though, but my vote would be Thibodeau. I think Monty gets it though.
Thibodeau should definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if he got it because what he's done. Because again, him going to the Knicks and everybody was thinking for them to be in the lottery again. But I think from the transition from the bubble to now, it has to be Monty Williams. Has to be.
And this is probably going to be the toughest award to get chosen for out of the votes. But give me Tom Thibodeau. I mean, nobody expected the Knicks to make playoffs. It's Suns, they're 2 seed, but we expected them to make playoffs after they traded Chris Paul. Quinn Snyder, nobody expected them to be number 1. Heck no. But we expected them to be in the playoffs. The Knicks, we expected them maybe to get in the play-in, maybe to get the 10 seed to get in the play-in, but they jumped up to number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tom Thibodeau. If they had got like the 7, 8 seed, probably not. But number 4 seed, it's kind of hard to not know.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Shai. Like this, I thought about this too. This is definitely the hardest one to choose. Tibbs doing his thing in the Knicks, bringing that Knicks culture on the floor, bro. It's been a beautiful thing to see. Shout out to Coach Savage. Can't sleep on Quinn Snyder, especially what that team has gone through with Rudy Gobert giving the world COVID and bringing that team together, through all that and having the number 1 seed. I think that's something that we can't overlook. It's something that's pretty special, especially for this Jazz team. But hey, man, Monty Williams is Monty Williams, man. We got to roll with the black man on this one. I will for sure. Definitely turned up Phoenix. Top 2 team for a reason. Chris Paul helped with that, but I saw the potential in this team last year. You know, the bubble, whatever. That was my time. I love the bubble. I talk about it all the time. But 8-0 in the bubble, like that's you can't whiff that. Hey man, that's what he did. That's what he did. He should have touched the microphone.
That's why Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, you touch the microphones. Keep your hands off the microphone. That's the word I got COVID, but that's neither here nor there. I picked, like I said, Monty Williams, hell of a job, and especially once the Suns beat the Lakers. And man, I'm telling you, hey, Phoenix gonna be turned.
You can make the case Rudy Gobert saved the world.
I mean, that's why they number one team.
Nothing probably never got shut down if he never did all this stuff.
That is true.
That's true. That's true. They brought them together. Now they're a number one team. So hey, shout out to them.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
It does for NBA. And we got a little time left for Troll or No, if anybody has one.
I had one, then I lost it. It was crap. What was it? Okay, somebody else go until I can think of it.
All right. It missed, and I said this on Let's Tighten Up podcast. I don't believe it. It missed about this Julio Jones trade talk. I don't believe he's getting traded anyway. Julio Jones is not getting traded. Troll or No.
That is a troll because he is getting traded, but it won't be to the Tennessee Titans.
I think he will get traded. I think so. I think
he will get traded, but it won't be the Titans. It'll be the Patriots.
I think you got to go ahead and get what you can for Julio instead of waiting like the Rockets did with Harden. You got to go ahead and strike while the iron's hot. Yeah. So if you're going to trade him, that would be the best time instead of having him to go to another season of mediocrity with Matt Ryan. So I'm gonna say not a troll.
I don't think it's a troll, but I think the better question, Sharky, is, troll or no, why the hell the Atlanta Falcons are win now and they're trying to trade Julio Jones instead of I think that's a better question, but
because
who am I?
That's their quarterback. I would have thought they decided to keep Matt Ryan. Maybe just make me think, they're not really gonna trade him. Because why would you draft Kyle Pitts and now you're gonna trade Julio? That don't make sense. You should have no sense at all. That's my reason. Yep.
Hey man, Atlanta gonna do a lot of things. Matt Ryan might be on the train block too. Atlanta going Atlanta.
No, they willing to pay that man.
That was a freaking quarterback.
They'll give him an extension. That's their quarterback.
There you go.
I'm here for it. Keep Matt Ryan in Atlanta, baby. Keep him in the A. I'm here for it.
Okay, so that's 2 wins possibly for the Carolina Panthers. That's why he wants them there. Hey. Oh man, but yeah, I still think he gets moved at this point because all this talk is going. But I think it won't be the Titans. It'll probably be the Patriots because the Patriots have already called about him. Cam wants him there, so it's looking like that may be
Cam started.
Yes,
that's a whole nother question. He should.
I hope he started.
He should be starting.
He's starting.
I ain't about to go into this.
Don't let the analysts fool you. He's starting. He's good.
All right,
guys.
Skyler, you had one. Did you?
No, I still can't think of it. I still can't think of it. I've been sitting there trying to think.
Yeah, that's a troll now right there. Cam Newton gonna be starting.
You said
Mac Jones, whatever his name is, Lito, but whatever his name is, he gonna be. I don't know.
What's the troll? But what's the?
No, we ain't got to do. We ain't got to do.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Mac Jones is going to start. He'll be starting by the end of the year. That's a fact.
Nah, that's a troll. There we go. That's it. That's a troll.
Okay.
All right. You got more faith. That's your guy. You got more faith than a lot of people. So that's your guy, Skyler.
By the end of the year, Mac Jones started for the Patriots. I can see it.
All right.
I say by week 15. Yeah, I can see it.
When the Patriots are probably in playoff. Okay, cool.
That's if they're not in the
No, you say that.
I say if they're not in the well, you have the Bills and the Dolphins who've gotten better. So who knows what's going to transpire in the AFC East?
All right. That does for this episode. Remember, we don't want to smoke, Farming Ground. We don't. We're here
We
for
love you, Kwame. We actually do. You salute. I
If
promise
anything,
you.
we like to smoke with you. If anything,
I'm yelling.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
One quick shout out to the definitely want to give a shout out to Simone Biles for attempting and completing the Yurchenko double pike vault.
hey, she killed that.
That is probably one of the best, flips performances that I've ever seen in my entire life. Go get a chance to look at it. Want to give a shout out to the
While
black
we're
guy.
acknowledging our black queens, shout out to Monica McNutt, the only lady,
Agreed.
the only person
Agreed.
to beat the Warriors. So salute to that black queen right there. Salute.
Since we on the
She's
subject,
good too. She's really
since
good.
we're on the subject of Black Queens, shout out to the WNBA. Their season is on the way.
Hey,
There's been some great games that I've been watching. One that was definitely better than the Celtics and Nets game. Yes, I will go there and say that.
It's okay.
So shout out to them. And lastly, shout out to Tennessee State University. Shout out to TSU. They're actually looking to start the first HBCU D1 hockey team. So shout out to TSU for that.
For sure.
Hey, yes, Sabrina, yes.
That's a
They
cheat
come
code. That's
She
the
played-
That's a cheat code. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Sabrina,
That ain't my squad, but that's a cheat code. So
Sabrina's playing this Karen
Sabrina
Parker right
is playing out of her mind right now. Shout out to Tina Charles too, because she had a big game last night as well. I think she dropped, I think it was like 34, 5, and 8, something like that. So shout out to her too.
Cool, man. Shout out to Santana Rocks, man, our logo creator, for tuning in and being
that KD joke was hilarious.
Yes.
He needs to be blocked from that. He needs to be blocked.
Yeah.
The KD was hilarious.
you gotta. Oh, that was funny.
That was a good one though. That was nice. That was nice.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Kendrick Perkins and Jalen Rose since they picked us to beat Golden State the other night as well, along with Monica McNutt. So shout out to all three, and shout out to Jay Will for giving us a shot in the Jazz series as well. So, matter of fact, Starting Five is live now. So y'all can tune in, listen to us preview the Jazz series at Starting Five podcast. So be on the lookout for that today as well. So till next time though, peace.
Peace.